One of my subs, I Hate New Jersey, gave me a list of videos he'd like me to cover. Sorry, New Jersey, most of them were garbage. They wouldn't be any good for content. But this one I'm going to tackle. This is Sybil here, who, of course, is an attractive young woman, lesbian woman, who has the world by the balls. And what does she do with her life? She finds a group of men, the most vulnerable she can, to punch down on. That's her contribution to society. These incels, they don't affect her life negatively one iota. And yet she's going to come and attack them. Now, let's get into this. Oh, by the way, before I do, I want to show you this, right? This is Dr. Spears, and she mentions about girls' tattoos and piercings, right? Because notice she has lots of piercings. And she claims, Dr. Spears that is, that this is a sign of some kind of mental issue, right? Now, let's see. 18. We'll get up to 18 here. Here we are. Right about here.
Example, what are we to take as markers of impulsivity, for example, markers of an inability to think long term?
So impulsivity and inability to think long term. Okay.
Right? It used to be that tattoos would be that. Or piercing your nose. If you go on TikTok, all of these girls have pierced nose.
Do you notice that, Sybil? All these girls have pierced noses, kind of like you, right?
And to me, I will take that as a marker of you not being able to think long term, but others won't. And today, these things are so normalized that we no longer see them as clinically relevant at all. And, a lot of therapists themselves have.
One of the guys in the Pro Male Collective even said that. He said about tattoos. He said, women with lots of tattoos, that's a sign of mental illness.
Tattoos everywhere. And this is problematic because they serve the same psychological function. A tattoo is a way of coping with emotional pain in a physical.
You hear that, Sybil? You hear that? Where are you, Sybil? So tattoos and piercings are about involving or dealing with emotional pain, right? So you have emotional pain, but know what else she claims? Where are you here? Oh, dang it. It's here somewhere. There we are. She is going to talk about where it comes from. And it turns out it's about the woman's mother, right? 1407. Let's get over here. 1407. Try and get as close as we can. Now, here we are, right there.
Aren't fulfilled. And I saw this with the girls I treated. It was always about the mother. That was the relationship where they had the most wounds, and they would come Monday morning if they'd had a fight over the weekend with their mother, and they would have started a humongous tattoo, like things like this gone.
So they would get emotionally damaged by their mother, and then they would get a huge tattoo to deal with the pain of it. So, Sybil, you're giving off the signs of someone who has issues with her mother. And what do? Do you make a YouTube video discussing your issues? No. You make a video where you find the most vulnerable men you can to attack because you're a man hater, but also you want someone who has no ability to fight back, right? So again, let's start this at the beginning, okay? So you know that this young lady most likely has mommy issues. And of course, because she hates men, that's her priority. Right?
Welcome back to my bullshit. I'm Sybil, and today I'm here alone. Ali is doing other stuff right now, but if you want any of their socials, they will be linked down in the description below. So today I thought we would deep dive into a incel website. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Yes, you do. You hate men. And you want to attack us. And since you were a coward, you're going to go for the most vulnerable group of men you can. Sybil, you have no character whatsoever. I can honestly say that.
It seemed like a good idea. So if you don't know, incel basically stands for
It wasn't a good idea, so why'd you upload it?
involuntarily celibate, meaning that they cannot get laid. Basically, they can't get laid. And they're really bitter about it, and they hate women because of it, and they think everything about dating and sex has to do with looks. Women are evil, women shouldn't have rights. Very much that kind of man. All right, let's jump.
But it doesn't matter what kind it is. You hate us all. I'm not one of these I'm not one of these ideological incels, but you'd hate me too. You're just a man hater. Now, everyone take a good look at it. This is an attractive young woman, right? She can be, not can be, but is accepted in society anywhere. And she can get away with some nasty behavior and she'll still be accepted. And yet she's going to attack men who have no ability. This is what she does with her life. Okay?
Jump into this. So this is incels.is, involuntarily celibate. Already seeing terrible things. Oh, also, just so you know,
when she says terrible things, what she means is these guys don't revere women, even though they do. Now I'm going to bring up Dr. Spears again, because one of the things she brings up or shows is just how dangerous these types of women are. Not incels, these women. Now, look how dangerous this guy's girlfriend is.
Pathologies, because we are surrounded by the wreckage they cause.
Woman makes her boyfriend crash. I've actually seen this before on Twitter, right? So this girlfriend, she wasn't getting what she wanted of her boyfriend, and she was willing to damage his car, but also put her own life and his and other people that were also on the road just to act out. This is exactly what Dr. Spears claimed. It's a rise of these women that don't think ahead. They can only think about what they want. This woman could have crashed and killed a baby. And she doesn't give a shit. Now, how many incels are going to be doing this kind of stuff, getting themselves a girlfriend and then getting pissed off and decide to crash the car? I'll tell you how many. Zero. Zero. That's how many. So your gender is the dangerous one, not mine.
oh, they have like nicknames. Nicknames is not the right word. They have like derogatory terms for women, which is like foid and femfoid or something like
So what? At least they're not crashing their cars.
that, which
Oh, here's another thing these guys aren't doing. You're a lesbian. They're not making up lies about their exes. Woman pleads guilty for falsely accusing ex-wife, a NASA astronaut, of hacking bank account from spa. So this is what lesbian relationships are like. It doesn't last. They break up, and instead of just taking it on the chin, they decide to get revenge on their ex and make up a false accusation. Right? So that's something that these incels don't do.
Basically is mixing the word female and humanoid to basically say that women
The worst thing they're going to do is make up names for women. I mean, come on, lady. This is weak sauce.
are less human than men. So if you see me read something and it says Foid or something like that, it's just a derogatory term towards women. Foid sounds just like a woman droid, like something that would be said in Star Wars.
These aren't the
Voids
you're looking for.
Yeah, you exist for Chad's pleasure. Stop lying. Oh, also Chad basically is what we would think it is, like the men that are like Chads, like the buff fuckboy gym bros.
But Chads don't exist. There is no good-looking guy that can bang all the girls without any consequences, right? Or is respected by women. That guy does not exist.
Yeah. So it looks like this person screenshotted a woman's post and what she
And by the way, incel ideology is actually quite anti-male because they're angry with women, but they're angrier with this fake good-looking guy who gets them all, right? They want to take their aggression and the hostility off some other group of men, right?
said was, if you honestly and truly believe that women can't dress sexy and post hot pictures of themselves for themselves out of confidence, then I hate to break it to you. You have internalized misogyny and an embedded belief that women exist for male pleasure. We don't.
No, first of all, she's right about the first paragraph, right? Women don't dress up for men unless they want to use men or abuse men. They dress up for themselves and other women. They want to impress other women and they want to feel good about themselves, right? But notice, Sybil, they don't feel good about themselves by accomplishing something great, something positive. They deal in narcissism. That's how they, your sex is very shallow. Proof positive here. But where she gets it wrong, and purposely so, she's lying. You have internalized misogyny. Misogyny doesn't work, doesn't exist. These incels are so angry with women because they worship women and want to be with them, right? And they exist for male pleasure. That's women projecting your desire onto us. You believe men are there to serve you. And so, since you can't think outside yourself, you think we must think the same way.
Absolute facts. Obviously, I'm a fucking lesbian, so I definitely have no interest in male pleasure. But this also goes.
Well, women don't anyway. Women work to make sure that guys don't watch hentai or even regular pornography. Women are against male contentment in general. If you were, you wouldn't put yourself on Tinder just to swipe left, right? And reject guys. You wouldn't go on. Women don't need dating sites. So when they go on, it's just to screw with men, right?
For straight women, bisexual women, anybody that's attracted to men. They don't exist for men. They don't exist for men's pleasure. Women can get dressed up just to make themselves feel good and make themselves feel hot. But I have a feeling whoever posted this is gonna disagree. Yeah, you exist for Chad's pleasure. Stop lying. No, once again, you're wrong. But I also think this is like a very good look into how the male gaze is so much different. Because incels often sit there and
different from what? You mean female gaze? Are you admitting that females have a gaze? That'd be nice for a change. The male gaze is a hateful term, right? It's like using the N-word on a black guy. It's the same difference. But men's mate selection is far superior to yours. A guy, his mate selection would be just a good-looking woman, someone who's physically fit and produce healthy children. You'll choose someone who is unfit as long as he has status. Women's mate selection is not deep. It's shallow as a puddle. Does the man have wealth and does he have status? For example, here's this YouTuber called Never Give Up. Being Ugly, My Experience, right? I don't know what his actual name is, but the point is he put out this incel video to give his woes, and it blew up. It blew up so much that he got 500,000 subscribers. And then guess what? He got himself a girlfriend. He didn't change his behavior. He didn't change his personality. He was the same guy. The only difference was he became somebody. Right? Girls go for status. That is disgusting mate selection right there.
And think like women only want Chad, super sexy dude bro, gym bros, fucking.
Hey, not only are they wrong, I'll show you what else women really are into, right? They're into underage boys. See all these, young, attractive school teachers that ended up banging their underage male students. See how the list goes on and on and on, Sybil? Like this woman could be with almost any guy. Matter of fact, a lot of these women are married. They get married to have some guy to pay for their lifestyle. So they're using their husband. And then they go off and bang the guys that they're really attracted to, which is underaged boys. So you're actually correct. Chad to a woman might be a guy who's scrawny, can't grow a beard, who's under 6 feet, and under 16 years of age, right? This is something you girls like to project onto guys, but you are every bit as guilty of it as any guy, right? But also a guy who's in the girls, underage girls, he won't, if he had his way, he wouldn't get married to a woman, right? He wouldn't use a wife and then bang underage girls. But these teachers, these female teachers, they use their husbands as well as banging these underage boys. There's no comparison between the sexes.
Beefy, and it's like, no, I know so many fucking women that prefer like the opposite. Everybody has different types. Not every woman is thirsting after a fucking beefcake Chad bro. It is your personality.
No, not a person. It's status. Mick Jagger was a sex symbol, and he was scrawny, non-muscular, and he has an ugly face. It's just objectively so. I don't have anything against Mick Jagger. I like him, but he's objectively a homely guy. But he had money and fame, so it's not the personality. You are both wrong and lying. I know you don't believe in what you're saying, because again, where is this guy? This guy's personality didn't change a bit. This is his original video 7 years ago. He uploaded one just 3 days ago. He's wearing the exact same clothes. He's got the exact same personality. But he gained status. So you are just lying, Sybil. That's about personality. Because you want to pretend your gender has depth and meaningfulness in your mate selection. You don't. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you one other thing too. You gals don't want to date a broke ass bitch, right? I said, what income levels do lesbians want in their partners, right? It says many lesbians prioritize financial independence and compatibility over a specific income level. Compatibility. In other words, women are hypergamous, even if they're lesbians. And a lesbian will date a woman who makes more than her, but the woman who makes more than her is going to date her. That's why their income levels end up being compatible, similar, right? The key factor in a partner's ability to manage their finances and responsibility and live within their means. In other words, I'm not going to pay for your drinks. I'm not going to pay for your meals. When we date, you pay for yours, I'll pay for mine, right? rather than the exact amount earned. Some emphasize that the financial discipline and healthy attitudes toward money are more important than income size, right? In other words, I'm not going to pay for you, lady. For example, one individual stated they care more about the partner's financial awareness and responsibility than their actual income, which is actually untrue to a certain degree because they contradict themselves. Listen, financial compatibility often involves shared values around saving, spending, and future planning. Some seek partners with similar income levels and those on a comparable upward financial trajectory. They're not just that I want you the same. In other words, if you had a future where you might make six figures, you won't stick around with a girlfriend who isn't eventually going to make six figures as well. You are not going to date a broke ass bitch, and the woman you're dating won't date you if you're broke. That's hypergamy. And that has nothing to do with personality either, Sybil. That has nothing to do with the quality of the person, right?
Personality is the reason that you can't get laid. Your personality is the reason you can't get a date. So this self-proclaimed incel said, that's a lot of words.
Well, neither are you. That's why you're so worried about income.
I post my ass for Chad, not for you, silly inkle. So basically,
If you loved your partner so much, you wouldn't care about her income. Sybil? You wouldn't care about her income.
they're trying to say that, like, you do post it for men, but you post it for Chads, not for us lesser ugly guys. You're once again missing the point. She's not dressing like that for the Chad, and she's also not dressing like that for you. She's not dressing like that for anyone. You miss the entire—
Yes, she is. She's dressing her for herself and other women. It's an exercise in narcissism and competition between women. So she is dressing for someone. To say she's not dressing for anyone is just false.
Your point. All these comments, like, here's another one. Massive cope by the femur hoid. So dumb.
Then why did you cover this? Like, again, these guys have no power. They're not crashing cars like your gender, right? Your mommy issue gender. So why are you doing this? Again, you want to hate on men and you're looking for the weakest group that you can find.
She loves to dress like a whore for men she likes, not some sub-5 manlet, which would basically be himself he's referring to. Nope, once again, missing the point. Doesn't dress like that for Chad, also does not dress like that for you. Women do not exist to suck your dick.
See how she falsely frames this? Now, Sybil, guys revere women. If these guys just wanted their dick sucked, as you claim, they'd just hire a prostitute, right? Men deal with sexless marriages. They get into a marriage, the woman turns the sex off, he doesn't leave. Men care about having the woman around. He wants a deep connection with a woman. He wants her around. He wants her to be nice to him. He wants her to deal with him. That's real depth, which your gender lacks. So, of course, that would shine these guys in a positive light. And since you hate them for no good reason, you're going to have to frame it in strictly for desire for sex. This makes you a dishonest person. This makes you a bad person.
Same shit. It feels like this website already feels like an echo chamber. Like they're just receiving the same information from each other and validating it. Even—
Well, aren't they sharing their experience? Isn't this a shared experience? So if these guys talk with one another and their experiences line up and they're similar, why not? Well, why do you have to turn around and call it an echo chamber? I mean, how's it any less of an echo chamber than your group, than your lesbian group that hates men for no good reason whatsoever, right? You could just hang out with your lesbian girlfriends and live the great life with your pierced nose, right? With your mommy issues. But this is what you want to put on YouTube.
No, the point
This is your echo chamber.
of the post was women don't dress for any of the men. Tinder is real life. What's this? What's this? So another thing that they often do is they self-deprecate because they
You should take a page from their book. That also shows you how these incels, as bad as they are still above you. They will self-deprecate. Your gender never will. You never will. You're too solipsistic for that.
They think that the only way to get with a woman is to be attractive. That's all you have to do in their eyes, and they view themselves as ugly often, and therefore.
Well, it's not how they view it. Beauty is objective. It is objective. These guys know if they look good or not. They just don't understand female psychology. They don't understand it's about income and fame. That's where they get it wrong.
Or think that's why they can't get a woman. But funnily enough, they don't stop to think about the fact that maybe they're not getting women because they spend their days writing about how much they fucking hate women on a.
Now, see the gaslighting? These guys don't write they hate women and then don't get laid. They don't get laid and then they write how much they hate women. Right? So this liar, and that's what you are, Sybil. You put the cart before the horse purposely.
Website made to talk about hating women. It's not that big brain to think about, my guy. If you
But
post
it's not about hating women, really. It's about woe is me. You're even going to say it later on in this video. It's a woe is me crying in your beer. It's like the guy at the bar crying out in his beer to another guy about breaking up with his woman. It's the same idea, right?
a selfie on
And this is bad, right? You can't explain why it's bad. Because again, these guys aren't crashing their cars. They're not threatening to kill their girlfriends or banging underage girls like you girls do with your male students.
Tinder and get no matches. You know where you stand and should probably give up. Tinder is the most accurate rating system. I've gotten like.
There you go. So we went on Tinder and he only got 2 matches. So his experience is what led him to this. So you are even debunking your own bullshit.
2 matches on Tinder ever. True, but blue-pilled cucks will still deny this and tell you that it's coincidence that only chads are desired on dating apps, but truth is that Tinder shows how unrestricted wicked void sexuality works out. First of all, I don't think anybody sits there and says it's a coincidence that super, super attractive people get a bunch of matches on Tinder.
Well, the guys do deny it. So you're just wrong again. Guys deny it all the time, right?
Are saying that not everybody is into those Chad bros. Like, yeah, sure, maybe they
You're denying female nature right now in your own video. Is there ever a time you're right?
get some more swipes than you do. But let's think about other reasons you might not be getting swipes. Your
They're nobodies and they have no money. That's it.
bio. Do you sound like a fucking incel in your bio? Maybe that's why.
Now look how dishonest this woman is. This guy didn't present this on Twitter, or I should say Tinder, to attract a woman. He put this on Tinder to say, screw you girls. And she knows it.
Maybe it's because your shitty personality shines through into how you present yourself. There's a lot of girls that are into dad bods. There's a lot of girls that are into more nerdy guys. There's a lot of girls.
Yeah, again, but those guys still have to have money and fame. Mick Jagger, he was a sex symbol. He could probably bang teenage girls now in his old age. And he was scrawny. And he has a homely face. Objectively, I like Mick Jagger. I'm not bashing on him, but he has an objectively homely face. And he was considered a sex symbol because he had money and he had fame, right? That's the quality of female mate selection, lady, right? Also, again, just a minute. Also, remember, he's not underaged, probably. He's probably too old for the average woman now. Right? But continue.
Who are into more skinny dudes as well, that don't have these massive muscles, is the most scientific and unbiased proof of your ugliness. For example, I used to compare myself with other guys, workmates, and I used to consider myself not that ugly, but always puzzled on why said guys were useful with women and I don't. Until I saw their Tinder, they had a lot of matches and I don't. The only conclusion I could reach was, in fact, I was ugly. Very. No, it's probably just your shitty personality shining through.
Yeah, keep your lies to yourself, lady. Shitty personality. Right.
It's probably the way you present yourself. It's probably the way you write your bio. It's probably the way that you talk
Gaslighting.
to any woman that you actually would match with.
Now, talk with women. If his bio is keeping them from even swiping left, then how would he ever talk to them? Right? Do you liars ever not contradict yourselves? Ever?
You just don't even give women a chance because you hate them.
Nonsense. You're projecting what you think onto us, right? These guys had to go through years of rejection before they got to this point. They give women chances all the time, right? And they recognize your mate selection is garbage. Of course, they got it wrong, and you like a good-looking guy. I mean, you're a lesbian, so you wouldn't necessarily. But the point is, they don't realize the main attraction is money and fame. Remember again, Sybil, that you gals are really concerned about your partner's income. I mean, that's how much you love one another, right? I love you, babe, but I'm not going to deal with no broke ass bitch, right?
Them. Like, it's not that fucking hard to understand. It's just so whiny. They'll say, like, oh, people
Look who's talking. Look who's talking. You got the world by the balls. You're attractive. You probably have lots of female attention. And you could do something really positive with your life. And all you've done is make a video attacking helpless men. What a loser you are, Sybil. I mean, you're the epitome of a negative. You detract from society. The sad part is you'll always be accepted, right? Like that young lady, where is she here? That young lady that crashed her car. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where is she here? Oh yeah, this young lady who crashed her car, she'll get acceptance, even if her boyfriend says to himself, I can't deal with this crazy woman anymore, and he breaks up with her, she'll find a new guy tomorrow, right? There is literally no excuse for a person like you to make this hateful video. Zero, none. Now, I always wondered what it was like to meet someone with zero character, and here you are in the flesh. Anyway, we'll end it here. You are welcome, New Jersey.